Hello everybody and welcome to the Whiskey Dictionary. Today I'm going to be talking to you about Black Bush from Bushmills. Now this is the first Irish whiskey that I'm reviewing here on Irish Whiskey Month, and you might be wondering why. Well, Bushmills in my mind sets a really good baseline for where to start with Irish whiskey, because it's the oldest Irish whiskey distillery. It just makes a little bit of sense in my head. But Black Bush in particular is the first Bushmills that I personally think is worth buying. Now I've covered the original and the Red Bush up there, so if you want to learn more about the distillery or either one of those two different whiskeys, then check out the link. But let's talk about Black Bush. Now this is 80% malt and 20% grain blended whiskey that's aged in ex-Oloroso sherry casks and ex-bourbon casks. And it's pretty good. But you can imagine from that kind of combination that you're going to have a lot going on in the nose and you're going to have a lot going on in the taste. It's just a good combo of sherry and bourbon. So speaking of which, let's go ahead and give it a nose. All right, so as one would expect from a sherry-influenced whiskey, you're gonna get a lot of kind of fruity red wines, and that is prominent here. You're also getting kind of a grape, like a white grape as well, which, red grapes and white grapes, it's kind of interesting to be able to detect the two differences, but you definitely can. And then you're also getting a little bit of an apple cidery smell, which I attribute a bit more to the bourbon. So let's go ahead and give this a taste. Cheers. Well, if the nose is indicative of the sherry, the mouth is indicative of the bourbon. So I wouldn't say that this is like all the classic bourbon tastes, because it's not. It's more of it's starting out a bit with the sherry. It's got muted fruits, but then you've also kind of more prominently presented with the vanilla and a little bit of caramel. And in general, one thing this is kind of away from the actual taste, but it's very light. It's very, it's that crisp lightness that I mentioned in the Everything to Know About Irish Whiskey video that I did a week ago. This is 40% ABV, and you can tell when you taste it, it feels that. I wish that they would make this in a slightly higher percent. I think that would be a really cool move to have this, even at 43 or 46 would make a big difference. So to that end, do not add water to this. I mean, do whatever you want, but I would not recommend that you add water to this because it's going to drown the taste out. Irish whiskey in general tends to be delicate, and when you add water to it, you usually lose a lot. So let's talk overall. Obviously, as I mentioned right at the beginning of the video, I like this one. I think this is a good dram, but here's the problem. The bottle's $28. That's really not a barrier to most people. But I think that you should still try it at a bar first. Almost every bar is going to have this bottle, and if you've never tried Black Bush before, you can try it for a fraction of the price and see if it's something that you like. Because even if you bought a bottle, I think you're going to enjoy most every drop in that bottle, but by the end of the bottle, you're going to be like, okay, cool, I had Black Bush Black Bush. So anyway, I think this gets a solid try it from me. I think you should try it at a bar and possibly buy the bottle because it's only $28. There's really no risk there. So thank you for joining me here on the Whiskey Dictionary, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Cheers. Oh, Egan single malt. Cheers.